Good morning, everyone. Today is day 3 of the coffee advent calendar. Today we are going to China, Yunnan. Okay, so cutting more varietal and it's washed. Okay, yellow fruits, black tea, baking spice. Okay, let's see. Chinese coffee. I think it's the third or fourth one I had coffee from China. And that I think was like 3-4 years ago. I was still living in London at the time. Okay, let's do 15. Okay, today we are brewing with the Origami. Okay, it's a long time I use Origami, to be honest. I think I never used it since I moved here back home in Italy 2 years ago. So yeah, it will be interesting. I have the ceramic one. I have it since a long time ago. Okay, for this one, what we're gonna do is a wash. I will use B60 paper that I will grab in a moment. So let's ground the coffee first. I will say, I will keep like coarse. I will keep coarse. So let's say 28 clicks. Okay, 28 clicks. Okay, let's grab a B60 paper. There we go. Okay. It's very big. Do we have a 01? I do have a 01, but I can use one corner. Okay, let's change the paper filter with a small one. Okay, this looks nicer. Okay, because it's made on ceramic, this Origami, I will warm up the paper with hot water. Okay. Perfect. Like when you brew with Origami, you can choose to use it with, I would say, 3 kinds of papers now. So there is the conical, okay, like a V60. Then there is, you can use the Kalita one with the ridges, like the one I use for Kalita or Orea. And it's a flat bottom. Otherwise, you can use a new kind of special filter they made for Origami, where it's a conical, but all with the pre-cuts that you can fit inside these little gaps, and to make it, you know, flat on the surface, so that you don't have this gap around the paper. Talking about this, so what's the advantage of having the gaps and what's the disadvantage? The advantage of having the gaps here is that they increase the airflow. So basically, as the coffee go down, the air go up, so the coffee should drain faster. Okay, the flow should be faster. Okay, what we're gonna do is basically 15 grams. I'm gonna do a sort of recipe like I did with the, let's say, the V60 yesterday, when I brew 5 pours of water. But I want to extract more from this because I went a bit coarser than usual, 28 clicks. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna do 40 grams. Okay, 40 grams of water. There is not much to swill, unfortunately, when you put 40 grams, because there is not much water, free water. All the coffee absorbs the water, so it's very hard to swill. Let's wait 40 seconds. So from this, I'm going to pour 50 grams of water. Okay, so to arrive at 90. Okay, you see, it drains quite fast. Then we will see. So the idea is to grind coarse when you have washed coffee, especially when you brew in a dripper like this, when you have a lot of gaps where you can have a high airflow. The negative things of having gaps is that also you can facilitate the bypassing of the water outside. What it means? It means that the water can struggle to pass through the coffee bed, and so we end up passing not from the inside but from the outside, because this paper filter, the water can easily pass through the pores and flow from the outside. This happens often when you brew washed coffee, okay? Because washed coffee is more dense, meaning that there are less, let's say, passages for the water to go through the coffee ground, and this creates more resistance. So that's why when you brew washed coffee, usually they drain slower compared to the natural processed coffee, okay? Because they are more dense. And also, like, for the grinder, that is more difficult to grind, but that is another discussion. Anyway, so when it flows the water and we have washed coffee, the water will find more resistance compared to natural, as I said. So if water finds too much resistance in the brewer, the water can easily pass on the other side, because anyway the water needs to pass always, okay? Water is free, it's a stream, and there is gravity, so the water needs to pass in any way. So if you grind too fine with the washed, you risk to have a lot of water passing outside the coffee bed. So it's not going to extract the coffee, but it's going to dilute the coffee. So you're gonna have this kind of like tea-like sensation. You have more a watery coffee, okay? That's why I always try to keep washed coffee coarser, okay, than usual. Because if I go finer, I risk to have bypassing. And this is a discussion I'm saying when I'm brewing with this kind of brewers, with this kind of paper, meaning that there are gaps here when I brew with Kalita, when I brew even with V60 anyway, there's gonna be all the time bypassing, even if the water stick on the wall. It can reduce it, but still have it. Then if you're brewing, I don't know, French press or AeroPress inverted, where it's like full immersion, that is different. Then you can go finer without problem. Okay, let's finish. Let's say 4 minutes, maybe even before, but it's good. Okay. Okay, the aroma is not very intense. The aroma is not very intense. Let's grab a cup and let's taste it. Okay, I hope everything is okay today. Monday is gone, so it's Tuesday. Okay. Okay, it's quite interesting. Okay. It's a bit astringent, but I don't think it's an astringency of over extraction. So I think it's that black tea quality. And now I can start to feel the spice, especially in the aftertaste. I can feel a lot of like baking spice. Not really feeling the yellow fruit. Let's take the refractometer. Always curious to see the TDS. Okay, when it's hot, it's very black tea, it's very tea-like, but not tea-like sensation. So I don't feel it's watery. I feel I think it's a good extraction. Okay, now it's cooling down. It starts to open up a bit more. Okay, it's not a bad coffee. It's not a bad cup. Okay, TDS we are 133, 134. I think we're gonna remain on this. Okay, 133. So it's a kind of balance following the SCA brewing chart with a 133. It's a good with the ratio that we used. Just a quick recap. What we did here is basically I went course 28 clicks with the Comandante. I used the Origami with the conical paper filter, okay? To reduce the bypassing of the water outside the coffee bed, I used 28 clicks. That looks coarse. But to increase this extraction, what I did a 40 grams of bloom. When you have the bloom, okay, when you have the first pour, the water that you use for the first pour, okay, majority of that, it will be absorbed by the coffee, and that's fine, and that's what we want. We want the coffee to be saturated. The rest is going down to the server, okay? That water won't have a high TDS, okay? It won't have like a lot of compounds on extraction. So by reducing that amount of water, okay, instead of doing 50, for example, you do 40, what you do is you give 10 more grams of water afterwards to be good for better extraction, okay? So that's how you can increase the extraction. You reduce slightly a bit the bloom, so even 10 grams less, and then you use that water afterwards. So what I did is 40 grams the first pour, and then I did 50, 50, 50, and the last one 60. So I recovered that 10 grams after. Okay, that's how you can increase extraction when you grind coarser with wash coffee, okay, to reduce the bypass. That's my strategy. That's it. And it's something that this is a strategy that I always used, I don't know, the last 5 years, and it always worked. I have other recipes in my sleeves, let's say. That's other technique, other methods, very curious. That's I am planning to show you in the next days. Okay, now the coffee is a bit cooled down. Okay, it became very more creamy. Okay, the coffee is creamier, start to be more fruity. What I say, yellow fruit. I will say it's more white fruit, meaning that I don't know, there is a bit of apple, red apple, but it's like a creamy, juicy one. Now that's something that I never tasted. It was funny because sometimes you see like star fruit or dragon fruit. Me coming from Europe, I always say, okay, I never taste this kind of fruit, so I have no idea how they taste. But now that I go often to Thailand and I have the possibility to try these exotic tropical fruits more often, so I will say white fruit, dragon fruit. In my case, more the yellow. Okay. Okay, there is some apricot maybe, okay, but I will stick more with white fruits. And black tea, still there. The baking spice decrease. As it became more fruity, the spice kind of like reduced. But I think this is a good recipe, okay? If I want to change something, right now I have no idea what I will do. Temperature for me, temperature was at 90 degrees. I was thinking like maybe it's a bit too low for ever washed and coarse grind size, but it worked perfectly. So I think I'm happy with this, to be honest. Okay, perfect. So yeah, last thing, thank you very much for interacting with me. I was reading some comments this morning. I will reply later in a bit. Questions, so I will answer all these questions without problem. Maybe we'll make also like some other videos where I can explain more technique about this grinding and other stuff. But thank you very much. Continue like this. I'm having so much fun brewing these coffees every day. It's actually very rewarding. It's so cool and delicious actually. Discovering different coffees, and also like rediscover old coffees or brewers and technique that I was using in the past. So thank you very much guys for following and watching and interacting with me. I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.